Hey guys, I'm Eyal Booker. You are watching LekkerTV with Benny.
Cool. Hi guys, I'm Benny. This is our first ever LekkerTV, where I'll be talking to the best people in the world, like Eyal,
Come on.
to get you some advice on how to avoid that 9 till 5 you don't want. So, Eyal, you're my first guy, so it's got to be 10 out of 10 interview.
Thanks for having me. I'm very
Anytime. Eyal, can you tell us a bit about your life over the last few years and how it's been and what's happened, just quickly?
So, my life over the last few years has been pretty crazy. I guess people would probably know me from Love Island, and that was my step into, I guess, this reality, social media kind of fame world. Before that, I was modeling. I was doing really well. That was great, but I guess Love Island pushed me into everyone's faces.
Into the stratosphere. Eyal, best and worst thing about being in the public eye. Again, this relates back to my sister. I saw you at one of your Christmas parties. There was a little bit of Kanye Sunday service, which is pretty iconic and would be a dream of mine if you ever want to sort me out. A Sunday service ticket. But tell me what's been the best and worst thing about being in the public eye.
I'm going to start with the worst thing about being in the public eye, and then we'll end on the best. I think the worst thing about being in the public eye is the preconceived perceptions that people have on you and the misinterpretations that a certain edit or a show might allow people to think about you, because I think you've got to take those things with a pinch of salt. You know, you're being edited into, yes, it's you, but it's a very cut up version of you. And also the fact that people think that they really know me and what I'm about, and they've come to this conclusion when actually, when they meet me, I think it's two very different things.
We're going to talk more about that later, just about what the public's perception can be like and how you're meant to deal with it and stuff. But go on, move on to the best thing.
For me, the best thing is the opportunities that I've had in order to, really inspire and help people and just grow as a person and do the things that I've wanted to do. I went to the Philippines with the charity and raised awareness for people who had their whole livelihoods and homes destroyed because of a typhoon, and I've got to work with amazing charities to raise money and help young people, and I get to use my platforms to spread my message and try and motivate people and drive people to be the best versions of themselves. And I've got to work with amazing brands and go to incredible places to film shows, and I met my girlfriend because she saw me on the show that I was on. And
what's the mental support like in the reality world, because it has become a big topic of conversation now? So honestly, how in these shows, how are they helping you?
They help you if you need it, but I put it like this, if you're doing a job and you leave that job, do they check on you 6 months later and say, hey man, how are you doing? How are you holding up? Not really. And at the end of the day, everyone is doing a job, and in the reality world, it's a lot better than in any other working world, because they do check on you and they do check in and they do make sure you're doing okay.
It's nice to see someone staying quiet and true to themselves for once, instead of being.
That was the goal, but it wasn't always that easy. And I lost myself after Love Island for a good amount of time. But again, luckily, I've got people around me and myself that allowed me to kind of find myself again and remember who I was.
Right, so Eyal, thank you for some honest background on yourself. Now I'm going to move on to the LekkerTV feature, which is something I'm going to be doing with every guest, which I think is going to be entertaining for everyone watching. This is to do with social media. First one's easy and it's pretty iconic, which was my favourite moment that I think I've rewinded many times. It's on Twitter, okay? Head is empty except for from Love Island saying, and I was like, raw, over and over. I think, who's that about? Is that about you?
That's about me.
It was iconic. So that was from Sarah, and that was about you.
You couldn't believe I said raw. And it's like, I used to love that word.
It was iconic. If you look like from Love Island UK season 4, my DMs are open.
If I say yes, I'm gonna look like a fucking
Right,
big.
right. Everyone watching, I chose the tweet. Just give me your honest opinion because you've not said this about yourself. But just tell me your honest answer.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, you're right. So that was from Low. Right, yeah, the last one I loved as well. Right. I met him in 2018. He dismounted his bike, so I was standing there. I patted him on the back and said, "Good afternoon," and then there's a name. He replied in something that certainly wasn't English. Not unfriendly, though.
Sounds like something I would do.
Yeah.
As in, I would stop and just get off my bike and say hello. But I would reply in English, so it's not me. So no.
So it was actually about Boris Johnson from tweeted by a person named Fred. Look, you did well, I think. I think you did well. But that's the end of the little Lekker feature. Thank you, Eyal, again. But now this is the whole point of the channel, what we're moving on to, which is the advice for young people. And you've lived a very atypical, unique life, and you are still doing that. So I'm just going to ask you some questions which will hopefully inspire younger people and give them more of an honest perspective on what they want to do. What would you say, honestly, to a young person who dreams to be a reality TV star? Because it's not really that likely.
What would I say to a young person that dreams to be a reality TV star? I would say, honestly, go for it. Go for it. Give it your best shot. There's a lot of shows out there, and if you're a good person and you've got charisma about you and you're willing to, be honest about who you are and not hold anything back, then then it might very well be for you. But I think make sure that you use it as a stepping stone, and you're to get on Love Island, for say, isn't the be all and end all of your life.
I think so. A lot of people need to hear that, I think. Social media is a big part of reality TV and Love Island Afterlife. What would you say to a young person about the use of social media? Because honestly, I really hate my phone at the minute, and I leave it upstairs for many hours of the day.
I think social media is incredible because it's one of the most powerful tools in order to communicate, in order to reach people all over the world, in order to market yourself, products, everything. But I think it's used very recklessly by people, and people don't know how heavy their words can be sometimes. And I think social media was created as an incredible tool in the 21st century to allow people to really communicate and showcase their lives, but has now been used as a way to attack people and just try and break people down. And it's a cowardly way of doing things, and I'm able to separate myself away from my reality and social media. And again, I read through comments, but I don't really read through them. I'm also not scared. I'm not scared to block someone. I've blocked motherfuckers left, right, and centre if I need to.
Well, that was the first ever LekkerTV with me, Benny, and my guest Eyal. Thank you for being my first one.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being honest. I think people should really take your words with a lot of weight and literally listen. Yeah, because I think you've been very honest, and from your position, it's nice for you to open up and expose other people to what you're really thinking, definitely.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
This has been LekkerTV. Thank you, Eyal. I've been Benny. I'll see you next.
All right. Help people. Sorry, the bins have just come.
Don't worry. The bins, they've got bin men in LA just like Manchester.
I think, sorry, this dog is barking and it's annoying me. Lady! Sorry, I'm back.
Here he is.